another video. On today's video, I'll be showing you how I upholster my kitchen chairs. I have 3 kitchen chairs that are in terrible state because my cats have been just scratching them up, and the chairs had plastic on them. And yes, plastic is good for your chairs because it protects it, even if some people don't like it. But my cat has done a number on them, so they just need to be refinished. 2 is okay for the time being. I'm going to do them another time, but the other 3, they're just in horrible shape, so they need to be redone. And I'm not using any fancy chair fabric or anything like that. Actually, I went to Walmart and I was looking for curtains to my windows, and I saw they had curtains on sale for $5. And I picked up 4 panel, which I was going to use for my window. But then when I come home, I realized they were way too short and too narrow. So anyways, they're very thick and they were $5 a panel. So this is what they look like. And they're like dark out, what do you call them, blackout curtains, yeah, like that. And so I'm going to use them for my chair. They are silky and shiny at the top, and they are, the camera is not kind of showing it up really well, but on the back of it is a heavy gray, and on the front is like cream. So I'm gonna use it on my chair, and I figure out, since it's kind of a slippery material, I think it's gonna be able to wipe off easily if it gets dirty. So I'm gonna be using that on my chair. And then on the back of it, I'm not gonna have enough fabric because I only have 4 panel and they're pretty narrow, and I already measured them days before, so I know I'm not gonna have enough if I put it on the back. So I'm using an old sheet that I have, like a blanket insert, to put in the back of the chairs, so it wouldn't look like, you know, like all unprofessional and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing, and I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's do this. Let's get into this video. So my cats have been just scratching up the chairs, and as you can see, the plastic is all ripped and there is holes on the fabric itself. The fabric itself is pretty good, so I'm not really gonna take the fabric off. Plus there's nothing else underneath that fabric. It's just a very thin, there's a very thin layer of foam, so I am not going to remove that. It's just gonna be a mess. And since the fabric on top is pretty clean because it was covered with the plastic, I'm leaving that on. Maybe next time when I do a more fancier chair covering, I will take everything out and start afresh, and then put fresh new batting at the bottom. But now it's all good for now. Now that I have removed all the plastic, I am attempting to remove the screws that are in the bottom of the chair so that the flat part of the chair will come apart. The screws were just so hard to come apart. I had to call my husband for him to come to help me, but eventually I got it out, and he took out one for me, which was very stubborn. So I guess I will have to put in new screws because the heads of those screws are just ruined. They're not good anymore. So it was just a pain to get those screws off. The bottom of this chair had a lot of staples and they were really deep within the wood, and it was just very difficult to get them out, so I just end up using the hammer to knock them deeper into the wood, and I just left them there because it was just too hard to take them out. And of course, I gave the bottom of this one a really good clean because for some reason all the others were pretty clean, but this chair was pretty dirty at the bottom. And as you see, I'm just knocking in all the extra staples, and there were two big nails sticking out from there. So I don't know what was happening with this one chair. So yeah. This mark that you see at the bottom of the chair is not a stain. It seems like some kind of varnish was used on the chair and then the varnish got stuck there, so it can't really come off when I wipe it. But this part is going to be covered anyway, so nobody is going to see it. Putting back the seats onto the chair frame was really easy. I just replaced the screws. I got the same size screws, I just replaced them, and it was a breeze to go in. The holes were already there. All you had to do was screw it in. They went in pretty easy, so that part was really fast. I put the seats on, but then when I kind of shake the chair a bit, I realized that it wasn't sturdy. So I am going to put a screw on one side that was kind of shaky a bit. So I'm going to add some screws there to keep it a little bit more firm, because I took out some of the screws because I thought there was so much screws in that chair and I didn't really need it, but it seems like I have to put back a couple of them because the chair was like not very sturdy at all. Now I'm going to do my very last chair, and I am going to measure twice and cut once because I don't have a lot of fabric left, and I want to make sure that the chair seat is covered properly. So this is what I am doing here for the last seat cover. When you start to cover your chair seat, make sure that you are pulling the fabric very taut so that it would not make any creases once the entire seat is covered. I usually start at one end and work my way around the four corners, then I do the middle parts. In this way it is very tight and it has a very cleaner and firmer look, and the fabric is not sagging right at the front or right at the back. So keeping the fabric very tight and taut as you staple is very good. It's better to have a lot of fabric and cut out what you don't need than have a little bit of fabric and then it's too short and it does not look good on the seat. If you are short of fabric and you don't have enough to cover the back, you can just fold in like what I'm doing there. Just fold your fabric in so the raw edge it would not be sticking out. So it's gonna give it a more polished look, so you don't have to cover it. But if you have fabric, it is better to cover it because it looks much better. But just folding it in like what I'm doing really makes it looks better at the bottom. And just remember to use your hammer and make sure all the staples are well flattened and they're inside the wood and nothing is sticking out, because the worst thing what could happen is you poke yourself on a nail while you're sitting on the chair.